Well, just name one positive thing, one happy thought before I move to the next thing. Give me one happy thought.
Well, Aubameyang came on at the 5th minute and he came off at the 66th minute.
Genitalia reporting.
Oh my god.
Wait, Osuna, are you high?
R9 4th and Cristiano Ronaldo 5th.
Can I go next?
I think Cristiano Ronaldo is the greatest European of all time.
And I want to say R9 just because I actually rate him high. HH. It's just that you always say that he had a grenade tossed to his ankle and he floated or some type of stuff. It's crazy, bro.
Guys, I'm always on time. Relax. I was supposed to put the stats of the show much later on, but StreamYard tax. Blame it on StreamYard. It's called StreamYard tax. StreamYard freaking tax, man. So guys, we're here. So guys, let me tell you what's going to be in the show. So because I know that my guys in the UK, it's late for you guys, so we're going to try and get to the show as soon as possible. So remember, we're going to talk about Tottenham, them being losers and Harry Kane. We're going to have a deconstruction and come to the day whether Tottenham deserve a win and are they the most loserish club of all time. Then we're going to get into Lewandowski. He dropped another disaster class. He's only scored 1 in 10. His last goal was against my favorite team and my second biggest favorite team in the world called Elche. So should there be an Elche attack on Lewandowski? And has Lewandowski played himself out of the striker conversation of Benzema and Luis Jose Suarez? Then we're going to now have a little discussion because we have an FA Cup final. And how likely are we going to get a Pep Treble? All that stands in the way of Pep are Arsenal, Real Madrid, and United. So we're going to have that discussion right there. So guys, remember, but please like the vid, subscribe if you're new. This is going to be on Spotify. So if you want to listen to the show while you're in the gym, while you're on the streets, while you're commuting to work or to school, this will be in podcast form on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Podcast. So guys, please feel free to send in your super chats. Your dubs and your super chats helps to keep this channel growing, and your donations helps me to keep this channel giving you that amazing, super califragilistic content cracking, man. So, guys, without further ado, because I don't want to keep too many people waiting, man, let me hit my stream marker. And, guys, I don't care what anyone says. Chelsea are not the biggest seller of this season. Nah, they're not. And I'm so happy that we have Anthony the GOAT in here to try to defend his team. I thought Brazil-Germany was bad. Now, Brazil-Germany, the final score may have been worse, but make no mistake whatsoever. To be down a baptism after 21 minutes is joy. To be down a baptism after 21 minutes is nothing short of joy. I mean, my Lord in heaven. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely, completely ridiculous how low Tottenham have fallen. And do you know why Tottenham are the biggest losers? Chelsea just one season. How can a team with a stadium like that act like they're a big club? How can a team be so consistently trash, so consistently awful, pretend as if they're a big team? Because I'm sorry, I can't. It's weird because I can't take Tottenham seriously as a big club. But if I say they're not a big club, how do you have a stadium like that? Because there's a reason why I put Harry Kane in the thumbnail. Because Kane, I don't dare you. First of all, you're already a fool. You're already a moron and a buffoon for signing such a contract with Tottenham and not signing a short-term contract. Because I have the utmost disrespect for a guy who doesn't really want to pursue trophies, but just wants the stats pad, which is what you want to do, stats pad at Tottenham. Kane, nobody cares about that goal record in the EPL. All the only person that cares is Prince Charles and Queen Beatrix. No one cares about you being Tottenham's all-time leading goal scorer. The only people that care about that are guys that live in a ditch in North London. When it comes to the big time discussion, it's about your performances in big games and your trophies. And for that, you cannot be in the same conversation as the guys who consistently are able to give you that freaking Salini. Anthony the GOAT, talk to me about your club and why your club are such losers and why they continue to be such losers.
HH, can you hear me?
I can hear you crystal clear and crystal.
HH, my mental health hasn't it hasn't been going good. You know, I've been grieving for the past day, and I've just been reflecting because it's a Sunday.
Well, I'm 11th, so think about me and Eric.
Sorry, HH, I did not sign up for this. HH, I did not sign up for this. I started support. I'm not even from England. I started supporting this team because of Bale. And now what I'm hearing online, I'm seeing other Tottenham fans crying about how bad the team is, as if we never knew it was bad. As if Conte never said this previously. Daniel Levy has not changed for the past I don't know how many years. He doesn't properly rebuild. Instead of buying Bastoni, he buys Langley. No, he loans Langley and he's going to buy him this summer for 12 million. Instead of buying Jack Grealish, he buys Nkudu or something like that. Instead of buying actual players who can ball, he looks for cheaper options. And now I'm seeing other Tottenham fans who are like cuckolds. HH, I am not used to losing. I am not used to losing. This is not me. I win consistently, and now I started supporting this team because it had potential. And now what I've seen is that this team won't change. And the problem is my mental health cannot continue to actually stay this way. Like HH, for me, I'm getting very disconnected to Tottenham. You know, like emotionally, today was the first day in which I didn't actually care. You know how that feels. Like, you know how you have a team and you're like, oh, you're losing, and then your friends at the end, like, they send you messages and they banter you and they're like, ha ha ha, oh, you got baptized, you got exploited, your team sucks. They send you memes and stuff. Like, for me, I didn't care. I didn't care. And HH, my issue is now I'm seeing online, our fans are crying for Danny Rose. They're like, oh, Perisic is shit as a left back. Who didn't fucking know that? Who didn't fucking know that he was shit as a left back? When did Perisic ever play left back, HH? When? HH, I'm seeing this Højbjerg. HH, you don't take shit and expect it to be a Ferrari. You don't take a Fiat 3000 and expect it to run on I don't know how much horsepower. You have what you have, and that's what really annoys me is that these fans act like, oh, it's the players' issue. It's the players. But if it's always been the players, why did we sack Conte? Why did we sack Mourinho before a final? Why fuck you, Nuno. Who the hell? Why did we sign Nuno? HH.
But my thing though is, are the fans going to react, or are they just going to buy the season tickets, keep buying the tickets, keep buying the merchandise, and just keep on rolling through? Because for me, like, a lot of Spurs fans that I know, they're like, hey man, it's Spurs. It is what it is. We go through. And that is how Levy is able to get away with this. He's able to get away with charging you guys, because I've seen that stadium. I've seen that stadium. That stadium, it's the most advanced football stadium on the planet. It's the first fully modern stadium on planet Earth.
Which
There
is
is
the
no
thing we
stadium
have-
on planet Earth that is more advanced than that stadium. So I know how much you're going to be charged to use that stadium that is also used for the NFL. So my thing that's, are the fans going to be like, no, enough is enough? Or are they going to be like, hey, it's Tottenham, win, lose or draw, we must always be there and we must always pay my ticket?
I think we paid the second highest tickets, and not just that. The issue is, oh my god, the issue about oh my days.
Go for it. Oh, we're here with you, man. Dorian, we're here
Nah,
with you,
nah,
man. We're here with you, bro. We're here with you, bro.
Oh my days! I've been holding it in this entire day, HH. I've been
Let it all
holding
out.
it in.
This is
I've
an
been-
open space. Let it all out. This is an open space. Let it all out. Let it all out, man. Let it all out.
Like, the issue with Tottenham is our fans. Our fans. I think football fans are very gullible. Like, if your team starts winning 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, then you're gonna say, "Oh, we have potential. Oh, the players aren't as bad as what the manager said they were." When Conte was coming out criticizing the entire team and the players, "Oh, it's not their fault. It's just the manager, and he's bringing toxicity." How many managers are going to bring toxicity? There's many things which have stayed constant in Tottenham. It's the board, it's Daniel Levy, and it's the players. Or the issue is, we're going to probably protest against United, which is our next game. You're probably going to hear boos and fans stripping for Pochettino, who I don't get why the hell are we obsessed over Pochettino? Why the fuck are we obsessed over our ex? HH, you never get back with your ex. You never get back with your ex. That's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea. Because the same issues, that the reason why you left them is still going to be there. HH, people forget Brighton away 3-0 when Poch got sacked. People forget how all the players were bitching about, oh, his training's hard. You think that's gonna fucking change when he comes back?
No, but answer, my thing is that next season is anything going to change? Because Kane, he definitely has to leave. But do you really feel that anything is actually really going to change? Or is it just going to be business as usual? And because my thing is, okay, you'll protest and so forth. Will the majority protest? There's no point in the minority protesting. Will the majority say, this is not good enough for the amounts we are paying and for a stadium like this?
There's only going to be 100 people who probably goes out to the outside of the stadium. You're going to see a guy on a guitar singing songs about Levy out. Like, nothing's going to change. What I hope is we sign a manager like Nagelsmann, hopefully, I'm praying, and we sell Kane. I think Kane, for me, I always wanted Kane to stay because I wanted to win the league. But now he just has to leave for his own health and my own mental health, because people are now underrating him. I still think he's a world-class striker, no matter what anyone says. But maybe you could question his loyalty to a fault, but I don't know.
Yes, it talks to me, man. I mean, Anthony, he seems to be fed up and so forth. I mean, what is wrong with this club, man? Like, why do we keep trying to accept that this is a big club? Why do we keep including them into this whole big top 6 and so forth? Because, yes, I'll be real with you. This could be a seismic moment. If we're saying it's a top 6, I don't want to hear top 7. If we're saying it's a top 6, I think Newcastle needs to replace Tottenham right now in the top 6 conversation. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna start off by saying, and you guys can hear me clearly,
Yeah,
right?
we can hear you, bro. We can hear you, bro.
I'm gonna start by saying that Daniel Levy, I think he's a genius. I really do, because he has manipulated an entire fan base. He has manipulated the certain Tottenham Hotspur journalists.
No.
He
But yes,
has
here's the thing.
manipulated the media.
Is he a
He has.
genius or are the people just stupid?
Both. So if you get manipulated, then that means someone has to be, the person that's doing the manipulating has to be smarter than the person that is getting manipulated. If you're smarter than the other person, you cannot get manipulated by that person. So yeah, the people are stupid. I think the media is stupid. I think the ex-Tottenham pundits are extremely stupid. Like, extremely stupid. They're dumb. They don't have no brain cells. Yeah, again, the English media when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur are extremely stupid because here's the thing. Daniel Levy, he did something that was interesting. He went from Pochettino to Mourinho. What does that signify? We want to win something. But guess what, HH? When you're trying to win something, I cannot say I want to win a race, but I'm not gonna do the proper training for the race. I can't do that. I cannot say I'm gonna run a marathon and you know what, I'm gonna run a marathon right now the way I am. No, I have to train for it. I have to put the graft in, right? Dan Levy doesn't want to put the work in. He doesn't want to put the money into the club, and he wants to win. He wants to hire a winning manager, but yet he doesn't want to back that manager.
Can I cut in for a second?
Go ahead.
Have you seen the Daniel Levy interview? This guy was asked. He talked about something like, for the past 20 years, winning one trophy is success. A guy like that only cares about money, man.
He's only care about money.
There you go. So it's you hire Mourinho, you sack him before before the Carabao Cup. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. First and first, Mourinho is like Chelsea legend manager. Okay, understandable. The fan base, and it was like a weird situation, because he's Mourinho. He's a special one, we all seen what he did for Chelsea. But you hire Antonio Conte, and he does not leave your football club, but you sack him because he told the truth. You know what's interesting, right? People said in both situations that the players sacked Mourinho and the players sacked Conte. If the players sacked Conte, then why are they playing like this? Why 6-1? Why? If the players were so happy that Antonio Conte was gone, if the players were so thank God, because we have eyes.
No, but yes, it's you can insult Conte once, and Conte ends he doesn't do everything right, and you can very easily criticize him. But Conte said something that was very telling, which is that there is a mentality issue at this club, and people are happy with mediocrity, and this comes from the top. There isn't nobody strives for success or greatness at Tottenham, because there is a culture at Tottenham as to just vibes. Because when you're actually laughing at your failures and you're laughing at you being butlers and so forth, there is an issue there. But yes, it's all cool if you're a Southampton and so forth. But yes, my issue is I've seen that stadium and I know how much those tickets cost. Mm-hmm. So if I'm a Tottenham fan and you're charging me that much and you're now mediocrity is now accepted, there's an issue there. So yes, you see, for me, my main beef is with the Spurs fan.
Yes.
Because for the Spurs fan, you see, yes, we're now getting into very tricky territory now, because we're not trying to define. It goes back to my thing on the football fan and the Treble fan. That Treble fan who Tottenham is part of my life. My parents took me there when I was 5. They just go regardless. But even if you grew up with Tottenham, you can't pay that much for a ticket, have that kind of a stadium, and mediocrity seems to be fine, and you're down 5-0 after 20 or so minutes. That's crazy, but continue.
No, you're spot on. You know what's crazy? It's in a way, you can compare Tottenham to other clubs in other countries, i.e., not in kind of a way like Dortmund. You can kind of compare, but the issue is you have a situation where in Atletico Madrid, and you look at Atletico Madrid history. Atletico Madrid decided that, hey man, we're gonna be a big club, and they act like a big club. The whole footballing world right now, if people said to Atletico Madrid, okay, finishing in the top 4 every year is a success, and that's it. People will accept that because you're competing with Barcelona, Real Madrid. No one expects you to compete against them. But Atletico Madrid said, no, you know what? No, we want to compete against the best. What ended up happening? They won the Europa League. They won obviously Copa del Rey, and they won two La Liga titles. And they did that because they want to compete. Tottenham, there's something about Tottenham that they don't want to compete. Tottenham wants to be comfortable. Tottenham wants to be Tottenham wants are the people that they want the praise of, considered to be a big club, that plays good football, yada yada. They want the praise of a Man City. They want the praise of a Chelsea. They want the praise of an Arsenal without putting the graft in from the top down. That's just the truth.
Yeah, and I think what was very telling in the, I want to go around everyone. What was very telling in the documentary with Tottenham was Levy said that it's very hard to run a business. So in his mind, this is a business. It's not a football club. It's not a sporting institution. It's a business. And the issue is that it should be a balance. It should be a balance of running a business and actually a sporting institution, because this is not a company. It is still a sporting team. Okay, let me come to your boy Ziman. Ziman, talk to me. You're taking this whole Tottenham thing and then being losers, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just have to cut to the chase. Tottenham have always been losers. It's not something new to them. It's something that's ingrained in their culture. And I don't think it's fair to compare them to other clubs like Atletico Madrid. You know, they're 11-time La Liga winners, and they're like 10-time Copa del Rey winners. They've been always certified. They have history behind it. They're fans that have seen their team lift major trophies.
And even when they went to the UCL final twice, they lost very respectively. Not with that Tottenham lost.
They've competed in Europe. My thing with Tottenham is this whole idea where Tottenham fans, I look at the fans and their expectations, because I look at fans arguing on whether or not they should go for a top-tier manager, bring in Poch back, bring in stability. I'm going to be honest, majority of these players aren't good enough. You're mid-table as far as I'm concerned. You're more close to mid-table than Chelsea, believe it or not, in terms of the long term. Like, I look at Tottenham and I think to myself, what do they have? Their youth academy is absolute garbage. I don't see any youngsters in their squad that they can actually build momentum in a team around. I don't see a squad that they can build around. I see a Harry Kane that seems to be, Harry Kane has to be the dumbest person on earth if he doesn't leave.
Yes.
And I look at Son, who's been useless this whole season. Your back line is made of players that aren't good enough. Longley didn't start, but Longley is one of your best center backs. This whole team needs a whole construction, and I don't think that Daniel Levy has the ability to do that. The ability to, cut our losses. These players got to go. We got to build. We got to rebuild. I don't think that's ever going to happen with Tottenham, and it showed in this game. When I was watching Newcastle versus Spurs, it wasn't a case of you tried and you lost. It was a case of these players they were going through the motions. They were like, "Oh, this is normal. It's okay. Nothing is really going to help."
And that's a key Ziban. And I thought Ziban, you actually hitting on a very key point now. The players, will there ever be points where the fans will boo the players or demand more from the players?
They have.
But they do.
They have. They booed Sanchez.
Has there ever really been a true? But my thing though is because Ziman's point is that what standards does the sports fan have? You accept mediocrity. So let's say you'll boo and so forth, but then a week it will be afterwards. There are no real standards there because you've built a culture of mediocrity.
And you know what's the biggest problem at Spurs? Just watching that Newcastle game and really thinking about it. I mean, it was a Netflix adaptation by Newcastle. It was literally a Netflix adaptation. That's what they did to them. In the first half, it's a Netflix adaptation, and I just look at it and I say to myself, there's so many problems. There isn't one problem you can tackle. There's the aspect of the players who's good enough mentally and who isn't. There's the other aspects of management. Daniel Levy is never going to leave. He's happy with where Spurs are at. He's happy. In interviews, he's saying stuff like, "Yeah, you know what, Spurs, we're a business. We're doing well. I think Harry Kane could build a legacy. We've been unfortunate in terms of winning trophies. I think it's been a successful era for us. I mean, if the person up top is saying stuff like this, how do you expect players to carry? And if fans aren't holding your club to a standard, you guys had a good squad and it's declining to the point where you're trying to bring in another manager to rebuild for what? Like, what's the point? What are you rebuilding for? Winning trophies? Newcastle's getting stronger. Man United is getting stronger. Chelsea's going to be back to the top. And then you have Liverpool who are going to be there. Man City. There's so much competition. And yet you have an owner that doesn't care. So
but I think that's the key point. Like, this game just showed you the difference between Newcastle and Tottenham. Remember, Newcastle, they're not supposed to be doing this season. They're like 2 or they're 1 or 2 years early.
Are we saying this is a statement win that pretty much like one of the like wins that pretty much like historical that like we basically saying we pretty much replace you in the top
No. I feel
It could be,
yeah. I feel this win and the manner of the win should be a case of Tottenham should no longer be viewed as a big club, and Newcastle should not replace them. I don't want this whole thing of it. See, why do we take Tottenham as a big club? Why? That's the question I want to ask. Why do we have to accept Tottenham as a big club?
There's no logical reason. You don't know why. It's because, let's be honest, under Poch, they were known as the media darlings.
Yes.
Under Poch.
Yes.
Also because we've been
Because do you know what it is?
Team, and then everyone said they were a big club just because they
and also here's the thing. England have a tradition of being very traditional.
Thank you.
And England never like to change. So once you're in the club, you can never leave the club and so forth. So England, because they want to keep tradition and maintain tradition, we just have to just accept that Tottenham will always be part of the big club and so forth. But I said, no, I'm sorry. You have to act like a big club. You've got to operate like a big club. What Newcastle have done this season is me saying, you know what? The way they're going about doing things and the mentality is like, boom. Because look at the way Newcastle are playing. Look at how they're approaching games. Look at what they're doing. There is an approach and a mentality of like, no, we want to be a big club. We may fail, we may not succeed, but we want to be a big club. Tottenham, these guys are just about vibes. And if a club is just about vibes, I'm sorry, I cannot take it as a big club. I don't care how big your stadium is. I don't care how cool your stadium looks. I'm sorry, I cannot respect Tottenham or view them as a big club. You are just now, Tottenham are Aston Villa. You're Aston Villa.
Aston Villa have European.
Aston Villa are bigger.
Head on this real fast.
Yeah, Elijah, go for it.
So sorry, here's my thing about this. So the reason why Tottenham is the reason what Tottenham is, or why they're considered a big six, is history tax. Let's just be really honest. Let's start from the beginning. Tottenham was the first London or the first Southern club to win the FA Cup. We know that's history. First team to do the double, first team to win a European trophy. Once they completed all those three, that was it. They made the club. They were the first to do something. So they're never going to leave that. What do the following clubs have in common with Tottenham? Birmingham City, Leicester, and freaking Middlesbrough. They've won the same trophy. Tottenham since 1999, the only trophy they won was the League Cup. That's it.
Yeah.
Leicester won the League Cup twice, and then Middlesbrough won the League Cup, and then we also have Birmingham who beat Arsenal. Right? That's just history tax. Now, the problem with Tottenham is they're so like you could rely on your history up to a certain point, but that's all Tottenham can lean on now. And that is what is so bad about it, because I'm sure you could talk to a Tottenham fan right now. Oh, but we were good back in these. That's not going to get you anywhere. Right now, your club is stagnant. In my honest opinion, I don't think Tottenham finishes in the top 6 this season. I think this is now the beginning of a free fall, possibly. I do possibly see the battle for 5th and 6th coming down to Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Brighton. That's me. Because this game really showed that Newcastle was saying, you know what? We're here. And the party's just now getting started. Let's just be really honest. The party is now really just getting started for Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Tottenham. Tottenham once again. My issue especially with the Conte sacking. Remember, Conte wasn't sacked. He just left. He gave up. Like he was done with it. He mentions again that the club pays money for the players. And then also, guys, let's also get this in fact that Daniel Levy is just the chairman. Joe Lewis is the owner because him and Daniel Levy are partners. They also co-own Rangers in Scotland. But for some reason, Rangers has many more trophies than Tottenham. Okay. Anyway, but the problem is it's more not even just it's not just what it is. It's more systemic. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
This is the fabric of Tottenham, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why, for example, and I know this point has been already been hit, but why would you sack a manager before a final? Why would you go into a Champions League final and just like not show up? Why are you they're more? It's a yo-yo club in the Big Six.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like, how can you be popular but you're a yo-yo type of team? You know. So in at this point, I think it is time that we replace. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. That is perfect. Joe Lewis owns 85% of the club and stuff like that. I think at this point in time, guys, it is time that we replace Tottenham out of the Big Six and put Newcastle in here because Newcastle's here and they're not here to play. So all this Spurs is big and all that crap.
No. It stops now. It stops now.
Yeah, it stops now.
Let me keep this drops and I'll come to you guys. So QCA, even if Tottenham lost 10-0, Blue Lights District is worse. Oh, wow. Q says, Wiseman once said it's a history of Tottenham. Cellini was right. Conte was right. Mourinho has been vindicated. Eric B, talk to me, Bran. Eric, welcome back. Eric, where have you been all this time? Eric Blue.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Where have you been, Eric? I've had to defend the badge by myself. Where the hell have you been?
Well, hopefully you did a good job, but it's part of your fault that the badge needs to be defended. But let's not talk about. You know what? Forget. I made a mistake, man. Sorry. Let me just change this.
Yes, I'm not sure this is the time to really be showing that.
Don't tell me you're going to Real Madrid, man. Don't tell me you change your
Yeah, look.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so thank you. So Spurs are they are a mid. It's like if you think about one of these mid-table teams, like if Villa had more money, they would be Spurs, kind of thing. Maybe West Ham. If West Ham had more money, maybe they might have even won a trophy. Who knows? So it's that kind of comparison. There's just something about them that they don't. This goes beyond Levy. You can talk about Levy, and you can talk about and you mentioned history. That's a fair point, but the history itself shows you that they just don't win on a they don't win big trophies.
No, but don't we have to look at the ownership in terms of how much have you truly actually invested in players and so forth? Why am I seeing an Oliver Skip still play? Why am I seeing an Eric Dyer still play? How are Eric Dyer and Oliver Skip still starting games in 2023?
I think Daniel Levy is he's just focused on the business aspect of things, which is it's ironic because look, Red Zev, I don't know what just relax, okay? Just calm down in the comments. Focus on that FA Cup final. Okay, so what was I saying? I think Daniel Levy doesn't care about the actual results, like you said. Yeah. I don't think he cares. I think he cares about the football. He cares about the business. The fact that the stadium is a multi-purpose stadium. Wasn't a boxing fight done there?
Yeah, Joshua fought there, and also it's for the NFL.
Yeah, he also lost there. To be fair,
no, he lost.
He did. So. He made a big mistake. I don't know why he went.
And concerts as well. Concerts. We're having Beyonce.
Yeah, Beyonce.
So that's what it's about.
No. Okay, but hold on. Here's my thing though. If Tottenham is hosting one of this, surely they get a share of the profits and so forth. Because if you're hosting Beyonce concerts, you're hosting boxing avenues, you're also hosting NFL games, surely you are getting some of this remuneration so far. So where is this money going to?
Don't forget the F1.
You think they're bottling the contracts that they make for these concerts?
No, I don't think.
Don't
But I
forget
don't.
the
This,
F1 racing.
yeah. They did spend a lot of money on the stadium as well. So honestly, I don't. Maybe the guys they just.
Kenny, no,
They're trying to gain profit. Like every year,
Wait,
probably.
they don't
Get
actually-
No. Okay, all I'm saying is that let's just look at the books. Maybe you're right that they're still paying off how much to invest in the stadium. All I'm saying though is those season tickets are expensive. Those day tickets are expensive. You use it for you get NFL money, you get Beyonce money, you get boxing money. All I'm saying is that let's look at the books and ensure that there isn't like a lot of money that's just sitting there, not being used on players.
No, the problem is
That's a good thing. That's what they want.
Yeah.
So sorry, Eric, continue.
Look, it's about the business. It's about being profitable, and you would assume that part of it is winning games.
Yeah,
but apparently not.
No.
Apparently it's like we just listed all the things that the stadium is used for. So the actual football team that plays there most of the time, apparently they don't matter that as much.
No. Rob, talk to me. I'll come to you, Kenny. Rob, talk to me about this club. Rob, why are Tottenham like this, man?
Well, I think it's mainly because of Daniel Levy, for example. Like he makes always, when it comes to signings, usually he makes the cheap signings and he never really backs a manager. Like what you saw on the documentary, for example.
890? God damn.
Yes, Spurs are the most or the second most expensive in England with season tickets and with prices and such. But like when you saw in the documentary, like there's also some kind of player power of the club instead of the manager having power. Like Danny Rose had a falling out with Mourinho, and the first thing he says he will do is talk to Levy about it. Like Levy will solve his problems of him not playing much, or at least that's what he thinks. So like the players have a lot of player power. They go talk with Daniel Levy a lot, I'm assuming. Daniel Levy makes a lot of bad signings, a lot of cheap signings. He always never backs managers for long periods of time. He never backs director of footballs for a very long time. Like Harry Redknapp, for example, wanted the top striker, and then they ended up signing a 34-year-old Louis Saha on a free instead of signing a top striker. And then he signed a lot of other bad players for free or on loan that ended up flopping. Like Daniel Levy has made a lot of really bad footballing decisions. Financially, he has done amazing. One of the best businessmen out there in the world. But in terms of footballing decisions, he has been one of the worst. And then you could argue that, and you could say that why sack Mourinho, for example, but he had a falling out in the dressing room. And the things were very toxic. So like, even after Mourinho stayed, the final was 50-50 because there was big toxicity and big falling out in the dressing room with half the players. So like, sacking him was justified, you could argue, because things were so toxic. But I think it's mainly because Daniel Levy made a lot of really bad decisions in terms of not backing managers, certain managers not backing, and not backing director of footballs. Like the best director of football,
Rob?
His dream became his nightmare because Daniel Levy didn't back him. So I think it's just mainly Daniel Levy making nothing but bad footballing decisions, but only making great business decisions.
That's how I put it. So Kenny, you wanted to talk about this, and we'll go on to the next topic. Kenny, talk to me.
Yeah, like everyone's been saying, like the guy has made great business decisions. Well, for me, it's expectation. For me, at the beginning of the season, like, but when you see what they do and the way they move, I never expect them to win Premier Leagues or to challenge for titles. For me, the Daniel Levy probably is like every year, get me in the top 4 Champions League, get me European money, and then we go. If you can win the trophy, FA Cup, you know what, we go. But for him, the most important is getting in that top 4.
Yeah.
That's what let's be with Tottenham have been, except that one season when they with that 2, the two also was Leicester, but they finished it or whatever.
Yeah.
These guys have been. Let's be real. These guys have been what? We finished top 4. We're not good enough to win leagues, and like, let's be real. They're never going to win Champions League. And and in FA Cups or even FA Cups, sometimes they don't even try.
My thing though is, should we still view them as a big club?
No.
No, but Tottenham are what they are. Like, I don't know what. Like, sometimes I don't get why people get mad at them. For me, they're what they are. I feel sometimes people see.
No, Kenny. I think the issue is people talk about like the top 6, the big club, and so forth. When we look at all these guys, United have had a period of success. Chelsea have had a period of success. City are having a period of success. Liverpool have had their period of success as well. So Arsenal have had a period of success. So all of these guys have had their period of success. My thing is that Tottenham is a sore thumb. How do Tottenham fit in with Arsenal, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, City, and so forth, who have all had a period of success? Tottenham have had no period of success whatsoever in recent memory at all. So what the hell are you doing in this group?
They fit in because of a narrative. The Premier League, they wanted that top 6. There was a top 5, and they needed a team to come. They saw Tottenham was doing also. You know what? Tottenham, we need another team. Yeah, Tottenham, you've been finishing. Cool. Tottenham joined the top 6 now, so that we can make that big top 6. So that now, when you play like the top 6 teams, now you know that is a big thing. So Tottenham got added just because of that. Let's be real.
No, but
that's the main reason.
But Kenny, just to like the point that HH made, I'm hearing Tottenham fans talk about managers that they're gonna get after Conte. I'm hearing Luis Enrique. I'm hearing some people even mentioning Zidane, Nagelsmann, and I'm here thinking like, why? Like why would a manager of that caliber ever come to Tottenham ever again?
But just
we say that.
You're gonna get
No. But yes, it's about money though. See, for me,
it's about money.
I think. Look, if you're a manager, first of all, it's a Premier League club, so you're going to get paid very, very well, and it depends on the manager as well. See, if you're ambitious, you don't go anywhere near Tottenham. If you just want to get paid, provide for your family, and deal with no pressure, Tottenham is actually a great job for a manager who isn't ambitious and wants to get paid well. Tottenham is an amazing job.
It's also like if you're a manager, right, and you say, okay, Mourinho didn't succeed, Conte didn't succeed, Pochettino didn't succeed. If I'm the manager who does it finally for Tottenham, like it increases your prestige.
I mean, I get that.
I'll be real with you. Tottenham are not winning a trophy.
That's not happening in my life.
Like it's not happening in our life.
But like, that's what a manager would want.
But Anthony, like let's be real. I'm not gonna lie to you. As much as I think this is not testing yourself, yada yada, but Pep Guardiola is a very smart manager. He picks and chooses exactly what club he goes to. Pep Guardiola would never manage a Chelsea, would never manage a Man United. He will manage a well-run club that is top of the food chain. That when a certain manager at certain levels, they're smart with who they choose to go. They don't just go to any club.
No, but because my thing though is like if you're a manager who you want to be successful and do things. You see, Mourinho, he was like, what Mourinho thought he could do with Tottenham is what he's not doing with Roma. I see this as a challenge. So because I see this as a challenge, let me go here and actually bring a winning mentality to Tottenham. But I feel Tottenham is a very unique case. Very unique. Because I feel that no matter who comes in, there is this feeling of mediocrity. I feel that even look at Roma now. Roma aren't as big as a Juventus or an AC Milan or anything, but still they're like, we still want to do well. We want to strive for something. Even if you look at a Brighton now, look at what Brighton are doing. There's still guys who are like, okay, we want to now strive for something and we're coming from nowhere. I just feel that, my thing though is that, and this is where I really want to get to. We have to come to a full consensus that we must not treat them as a big club anymore. And I think, and I'm looking at the media because for the media, they just want to push this narrative. And it's like, wait a minute, why do we have to take Tottenham as a big club for? What reason do we have to treat them as a big club? I told you,
it's the big 6. It's for them fixtures. When you see them big 6 fixtures, people when you see the big 6.
So Kenny, even though it doesn't make any sense, we should just still accept it.
No, at the end of the when people say they have a big stadium and all that stuff, the stadium is not. I've worked at the stadium is nice, but at then just because you have a big stadium doesn't mean that you're supposed to be a big club. Like these
know.
guys, they build stadium for revenue. They don't build stadium to compete.
But this is why it's confusing, because you can't have a stadium like that and be down 5-0 in 20 minutes against Newcastle. That makes no sense. You can't have a stadium like that and you accept mediocrity. But Kenny, this is the thing I find dangerous, because see, Anthony is just one fan. My feeling is the majority of Tottenham fans actually don't give a damn.
Yeah,
now, I may be wrong.
They're not like me.
You know what's crazy?
No, but like, these guys are...
because I feel that majority, which is why I think that for Tottenham, it's deep, because I think the majority of Tottenham fans is, hey, it's Tottenham, it's my club, I'm going to go support. They don't give it up, they don't demand anything. And because they don't demand anything, that's what Conte was alluding to. Conte was like, what kind of club is this? You guys can just accept bottling and you just say, hey, we are bottlers, it is what it is. Yeah, you know, we're Tottenham, boom.
Well, one thing I don't understand is, Kenny, you said something like, oh, yeah, you know, they're part of the Big Six, yada, yada, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Before the Sheikh Mansour and the Dubai came into the Abu Dhabi came into Man City. Man City was a very, very, very small club. They were.
Yeah,
That's the truth. Like you couldn't compare Everton. You couldn't compare Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Leeds United. These clubs were Newcastle. Some people will say till today are considered bigger than Manchester City. But Manchester City are in this Big Six. Why? Because they have the money, they have the players, and they have the success.
Yeah,
Tottenham don't have that type of money.
Because here's the thing. Sorry, my thing is that look, it's very hard to win it, especially now. It's very competitive. It's very hard.
Yeah.
But my thing though is, what are you building? The thing with Tottenham is you're not building towards anything. You see, if you're building towards something and you're falling short, I'm like, boom. Guys, take a look at Newcastle. Newcastle may not win a trophy in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years. But I will respect Newcastle because you're actually building towards something. And if you're building towards something, but you get stopped by City, you get stopped by a United or so forth, I'm like, I still respect because you're putting in the money, you're putting in the work to try to strive for something. Tottenham have not strived for anything.
But
they don't strive for anything.
They built a new stadium. They finished second. They went to the Champions League final. But let's be real. Like let's be real. When was
Kenny,
the last time?
I said strive in footballing terms, not stadium terms.
They strive. But wait, they won the League Cup in 2008. Most of these Tottenham fans, most of these Tottenham fans, the whole life they only saw a League Cup. Like, what do you expect them? What do you want them to be?
No. That's the problem, bro. It's this whole idea where Spurs fans are. There's two extremes, right? There's one where it's like, you know what? We still think we're a big club, even though we haven't won anything. And the expectations, it's weird, bro. The other day I was tuning into like a Big Six like Premier League YouTube video, and I'm hearing them discussing whether or not Luis Enrique is good enough for Tottenham. I'm like, you're not that club.
You're not that club. You're not that club.
You should be grateful for even having managers like Antonio Conte and Jose Mourinho taking over your club. And this is my problem. There is no set standards. Like, the fans don't bring standards, and you expect the owner to bring standards.
You see, Zeman hit the nail on the head right there. Guys, Levy, the fans. Because I look at the tweets, I look at what people are saying. The average Tottenham fan accepts this. Because the average Tottenham fan is like, it is what it is. And I'm like, I take issue. Do you know why I take issue? If you are still at White Hart Lane, cool. You can't have a stadium like that and accept mediocrity. Look at Atletico Madrid. Mm-hmm. When they moved to the Wanda Metropolitano and so forth, you could feel like, okay, you know what? We have to raise the level right now and you have to raise the expectation. And here's Atleti is a great example. Look at what they did before they moved to Wanda. So I think they won the Europa League in the old stadium. They won the league in the old stadium. And they got to 2 UCL finals in the old stadium, I believe. Yes. So my thing is that they earned the right to have that stadium. They earned the right to win a league during the peak Messi Cristiano era is doy. And you were inches away from a UCL twice. Inches away.
And they won another Europa League and another league.
Another Europa League and another league. No, but Barry, I'm talking about in the old stadium.
Okay, yeah.
In the old stadium. So my thing that they end right. But my thing with Tottenham, why do you have that stadium?
It's more revenue to get more, but that's it.
No, Kenny.
For money.
No, Kenny. I'm saying that you've not. I was using an Atletico example. You have not earned the right to have that stadium. I know what it's for.
What do you mean by earned?
No, Kenny. I feel that you should. When I started, I said, wait a minute. You're Tottenham. All you have is a League Cup it's an Audi Cup. Who gives you the right to have a stadium like that?
See,
you have to earn the right to have that South African stadium.
Fans are coming to the stadium. It's more like, at the end of the day, these guys know fans are going to be coming to the stadiums. And even if some fans decide there's another couple thousand fans that are going to be
see, Kenny, that is the issue because this is the issue I take with it. Because Kenny, I don't even know how to address this fan. Because this fan I'm addressing is Tottenham is my life. My very first memory was going to Tottenham, and win, lose or draw, I'm a support Tottenham. So Ziman, how do I let that fan know that? Shouldn't they have standards?
No. You know what's crazy? Like, football is secondary for Tottenham. It's advertisement that's first for these guys.
And culture and vibes.
The whole sport, it doesn't matter. As long as they come in and they pay their money and they get to watch their team, that's all that matters with Daniel Levy. And then it's like the real business is, how can I advertise this? How can I get other streams of income through this stadium? That's why it was built. You think it was built for success? I don't see any success in that team. Tottenham is just Tottenham team is an advertisement.
Wait, hold on. Let me hear that. Deja Rock today. Kane, don't be a loser all your life. Come to Bayern. Look, guys, I'll be real with you guys.
He's staying.
If Kane, Ziman, no.
He's staying in England.
Ziman, if Kane, okay, there is no chance that this guy signs a contract extension. It's impossible. You see, if he signs a contract extension, you are the biggest loser of all time.
But I think he does. I think he signs for Bayern.
He doesn't. No, bro. He's England.
No, he wants to break that
Let me tell you why, guys. The reason why
he signs for Bayern, he's not going to sign.
No, you know why? It's Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy would rather sell cheap to Bayern because this guy only has a year left in his contract to Bayern than anyone else. So at the end of the
day, I think you're confused. We're dealing with a money man. Levy wants the most. So yes, let me get this straight. He's going to reject 150 from City, but he will accept he'll accept £2 from Bayern.
No, guys. Because the situation is he only has a year left in his contract.
Okay.
So I want people are clear with that. That means if he doesn't go this summer, that he goes for free, right?
Yes.
So Daniel Levy would have to sell. Daniel Levy will do. I don't. Was Daniel Levy was he there when the whole Luka Modric and Chelsea situation?
Yeah, but that's different. That's Chelsea.
But that's my point. Like Daniel Levy is that type of guy where he's like, he will for Man United. I don't care what it is. It's 100 million.
I disagree.
For Bayern Munich, 65.
That's the whole thing.
But yes, at the end of the day, he's going to go to the highest bidder.
Yeah. No. I think if Man United offer like 80 million and 80 million, he will say no. I think if Bayern offer 80 million, he'll take
it. Okay. Yes, okay. So let's say you're right and so forth.
Yeah.
Kane has to accept.
Yeah.
So what if Kane doesn't accept to go to Bayern? If he doesn't accept to go to Bayern, that means no, you listen for free.
No, but then he's stuck at Tottenham. Like this.
Yeah, but he stays for Tottenham 1 year.
That's a choice.
No. Yes. Levy is a businessman. There is no chance in hell he's letting go of his most prized assets for free. So yes, if we have a standoff and he says that I'm accepting Bayern and Kane says I am not going to Bayern Munich. So either you accept United, or I'm going to stay here for 1 more year and you're going to lose him for free. Levy, being the businessman, he's going to sell because Levy is not letting Kane go for nothing. That's not happening.
But then, from the evidence we've seen about the type of person Kane is not the type of person that is gonna be like he's gonna push this. Nah, Kane is a
He
type of
did.
person where
Last
like
summer he
He
did.
did.
Yeah, he didn't turn up for training.
Come on, that's
Yeah,
not
he tried,
pushing.
bro.
Yes,
That's not
yes,
pushing.
get out of here. Yes, he didn't turn up for training.
What Lewandowski did,
Man.
that's pushing.
Have Daniel
No,
Levy.
no.
Yeah, no.
Man was in interview with Gary Neville.
Yes,
He was
yes,
doing-
Lewandowski knew that eventually, because he knew that deal was close to everything. What Lewandowski and Kane did, it was similar. The issue with Kane was, that you're pretty much screwed. Lewandowski knew that, I pushed this guy's most likely to sell because he knew the dynamics. Kane, you messed up. But you thought that, what else? My back's against the wall. I need to leave. What can I do? And he didn't turn up for training and he got fined. So, of course, he's going to push. Yes, my thing, though, is Kane, let's be real. Kane knows that he messed up big time. You are a stupid fool to think that we still live in the wild, wild west where you spit on your hand, have a shake, and that means something. This ain't the 1700s. This ain't a few dollars more. This ain't Tombstone. This ain't Unforgiven. This is the modern day in the age. And Levy was like, no, I don't have to. So, but yes, specifically with what Levy did and how Levy screwed him over, Kane hates this man. So Kane is going to be like, I'm out. And either you accept something or you're going to lose me for free.
Maybe the opinion I have of Kane is different than you guys. I just think Kane is a type of guy that like this is how I envision Kane. Hey, Levy, I want to leave Tottenham. That's how I envisioned it. And Levy's like, listen, you're going to Bayern Munich or you're staying signing contract.
Nah.
Okay,
I don't think so. Yes, I don't think so.
I think that's Kane.
No. Do you know what Yas is trying to do? I think Yas is trying to do like a reverse jinx.
No.
Yassi and Jace was
I
be
would love
happy.
Kane.
Harry Kane is going to be a United player next
I would love
season.
Kane. No, I would love Kane. I would love Kane. I would love
Well,
Kane.
Chelsea, if it's called FFP tag. So hold up. Half-Up's cousin. Hashtag hog a spud. Drop the man. It ain't worthless, man. Oh, shout out. Well, that's not my real cousin, but shout out to Half-Up's cousin, man. What's it called? J Twist, talk to me.
Oh, about the whole Tottenham thing.
Yeah.
About the stadium thing, we could put West Ham in this agenda because they could win a trophy and they've got a big stadium.
Easy.
A big stadium. They draw on big revenues now. I think it's the Olympic Stadium that it was previously. Yeah. And today, the game today, just proves Tottenham were never in the big. They're only in the big six for financial reasons, not for on the pitch reasons.
Yeah.
Because they're in the category of the Portsmouth, the Swansea City, Birmingham City. They've all won one FA Cup or one league. They're not a big club. And the whole thing about the stadium, they actually never paid for the stadium. It was just a massive bomb.
Wait, J-Sweat, I think there's something wrong with your mic. You sound like if you're like in Antarctica or something because I keep hearing you. And then,
Yeah, well, let me fix it.
Okay, cool. Does anyone else have any thoughts on this so we can move to 11 days? Okay, AK, go for it. And then maybe answer you want to round off. AK.
I have a question. Why, like, for me, when I think of a big club, I think of, like, whenever a team faces, like, say a small team. When Arsenal faces Aston Villa, you could say Arsenal are the favorites. If Arsenal lose, it's a shock. When Chelsea faces, Bournemouth, when you face them and you look at the result after, you see, it's a shock. Chelsea didn't beat them.
In 2023?
The problem with Tottenham is I look at the results, and even when they lose 2-0 or 3-0, it's not a shock. It's just like, okay. That's the problem here. You have a stadium that how much is that stadium? How much people does that stadium fit?
Isn't it like 70,000?
That's almost as much as Old Trafford. That's like similar capacity to Old Trafford. You have a multi-million pound owner. Like Tottenham's owner isn't like poor. He's rich. I think Joe Lewis is like 20 billion pounds of net worth. Like he's rich. He just doesn't want to invest. That's the biggest worry. A guy who has more money than Roman Abramovich just doesn't want to invest in your club. That's the biggest problem with Tottenham at the moment. They have owners who don't care about their club. And another thing, do you think there will be Tottenham fans, of course, but do you think a majority of Tottenham fans would act like this and would stage protests, would be like Levy out, Enoch out, if Arsenal was 2 points behind them? Would they do it? If Arsenal was 2 points behind Tottenham, would you see all these protests?
It's the Spurs way, man. It's the Spurs way, bro.
These guys are more concerned about their rivals than their own club.
Wait,
that's the problem here.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, bro.
They're
I was
more
just gonna. Oh wait, I'll let AK go first.
Yeah. Okay, go
We're
for
more
it.
concerned with what Arsenal does, with what Chelsea does, with what this team or that team across London does, instead of saying we're Spurs and we want to move further up instead of just staying in the same place. That's my point. If Arsenal were in 6th and Tottenham were in 5th and they were both tussling out for a top 4 spot, this wouldn't be seen as a failure of a season. It's because Arsenal are challenging for the title that this is a failure of a season for Tottenham. Because if you just look at it in terms of just table, Tottenham are 4th, they're 5th. That's where we expected them to be before the season. It's because Arsenal are overachieving that Tottenham are saying this season's an abject failure.
Let me come to J2S and then come to you more and Anthony.
The whole thing about the fans not protest. Does everyone remember when the Super League happened? So we had Man United storming the stadium. We had Chelsea and Rory Jangs doing their thing. We had Liverpool doing their thing. We had Arsenal outside the stadium. What did Tottenham do again? They had a bunch of hippies playing a little ukulele at the stadium. This is what I mean.
No. Jason, what's it called? Levy wanted that Super League, man. He wanted that Super League.
Oh my, bad.
Yeah, because he wanted that Super League.
They were going to get, what was the opening fee? It was like 200 million or 500 million, something ridiculous.
Levy was twerking like Cardi B for that. For opening fee.
Win the top 6, yes.
Yeah, man.
Because even when they were buying the stadium, they went for I think it was a whole summer, they didn't spend any money. But they somehow went to the Champions League final, which makes no sense. They were stuck with, Kieran Trippier. Eric Dyer is still in that defence.
That's mad.
He's been there for like 10 years now. How do you have Eric Dyer? Just the name as well, Dyer.
And we're looking to extend him on a new contract.
He's only there because of the English quota. That's the reason he's there.
You know what's so shocking? The amount of players that left Tottenham and won. Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker.
Ndombele is going to do it this year.
Won the Europa League. And he was
Ndombele. He's going to win the league with Napoli this year.
What's that player, Brian Gill, that came on against United when we got destroyed?
Oh my God.
So what's it called? Mo, talk to me and then answer the round off with Anthony. Mo, talk to me, man. I mean, they're your so-called rivals, aren't they? So
they're little bros.
Like they're the real little bros.
Yeah, they're the real proper little bros.
For me, I think the biggest mistake Daniel Levy has made was sacking Pochettino. Like that was the biggest mistake. Because let's be honest, that whole club was because Pochettino. He's the one that brought them up there.
Yeah, so why did they even sack him? Like, you see, this is the thing that pisses me off.
Because they want something more.
Yeah.
Z-Man, Pochettino could have just chilled out at Tottenham. It was a marriage made in heaven. Now we are getting Tottenham's mediocrity. Yes, that's my whole point.
It is just the players, though.
Yeah, the players.
Players are the ones who sack.
Yes, I'm saying that. Why sack him for what? Pochettino is what you want. Vibes, quality football, cool. That is for you. Now, because you sacked him in a roundabout way, we're now going to be stuck with this freaking dude. So that's why I'm pissed off.
But just look,
by you sacking him, we've now somehow going to end up with this freaking dude.
But it's just the players.
Nah, I don't.
The players that sacked Pochettino were the garbage play. We're not talking about the Song and Kane. The players that sacked Mourinho were not Kane and Song. It was the garbage players, the trash players, the useless players.
That had zero mentality.
Can we have a conversation about Hugo Lloris? This guy's a bum goalkeeper, bro.
Z-Man, if you push me,
This guy, no.
Z-Man, if you push me, there is a Lloris tax on that Messi World Cup.
I really thought
there is a Lloris tax on that Messi World Cup.
Respect the World Cup winner.
No, I don't.
I really thought about it in terms of a starting lineup player for a World Cup winning side. Hugo Lloris got to be the worst.
Yes,
Got to be the worst. He got to be
Actually, hold up. I
No,
think Givars may have started the World Cup. Let's see if Givars started the World Cup
No,
final. Then he may
Givas is
hit
better
it.
than Hugo Lloris, man. I don't care, bro.
Was he captain? No, he was captain, right?
Stefan Givas was
And Lloris was captain. No,
Yeah,
see,
captain.
Lloris
Robertson.
is one of the Lloris is the worst starting keeper I've ever seen in my life. Because see, most trash keepers, they end up getting sold and so forth. In terms of the guy who consistently starts and is captain, Lloris is the worst.
How do you get taken off at halftime? Like, you know
He
how
was
embarrassing that
injured.
is?
He was injured. He was
Lie.
Oh,
Anthony
he
said
was
lie.
injured.
He was injured.
Anthony, the guy was
5-0.
Anthony, the guy was as fit as a fiddle. The guy was as fit as a fiddle. He used his hands to lift this. Okay, Anthony, hold up. Last thing, and then we have to go to the next episode. Anthony, where do Tottenham finish at the end of the season? Honest answer. Where does Tottenham finish at the end of the season?
I think we can still reach top 6. I seventh, eighth.
Because you have United next. You have United on Thursday, and you still have to play. I think you have to play City still.
I'd like to also bring some calmness. I think our injuries have also fucked us over a bit.
Bro, Richarlison shit, man.
No,
Bentancur is very, very crucial to how we play.
Hold up. Why didn't Longley start in the center back position?
Why does Longley still play football?
Because our fans were crying and moaning and bitching about wanting a back four, as if the formation changes anything. I think our issue is intangibles in moments that we don't capitalize on. But anyway, I think we're going to probably reach 7th or something.
Yeah, you looked worse with a back 4 than a back 5.
Because
you need defenders on the pitch.
You should see every Spurs. HH, do you want Poch in Chelsea?
No, hell no. Are you mad? No.
Why am I seeing and hearing Tottenham fans crying in whatever Tottenham Lane, whatever the fucking stadium's called? They're singing Pochettino's name. They're singing songs about Poch.
They miss him.
It's not
They miss mediocrity. That's what they miss.
Yeah, they miss the Champions League final, the fake Champions League final run.
Anthony, you're a Spurs fan. Let me ask you this. I wanted to know this. Does Pochettino going to Chelsea, does that damage his reputation?
No, for me,
it
doesn't.
For me personally, no. For me personally, no, because if we actually build something on ourselves and we focus on ourselves and we improve ourselves, why do I give a shit what Chelsea are doing?
Wait, hold on. Let me hear this. I'm about to go. So QC, it's AK. It's the other way. It's a shock when Chelsea win.
Very true. That's very.
Wait, when is Chelsea's next win coming? We're still wondering that.
No. I think Jason was your breaking.
So,
the question is when is
hold up. Barry, is your mic working?
Yes, sir. What you got for me, man?
Okay, so Barry. Now, tell me if this is true. Okay, no. Rather, when was the last time that Lewandowski scored?
Elche, I believe.
Yeah.
So Lewandowski. So okay, they say Lewandowski has scored 1 in 10. Is this true or not?
I think so.
Yeah,
okay.
It's been a while since.
Okay, Barry, I'm gonna ask you a real question. I still feel he should still win the so-called Pichichi Award, but are we seeing? Okay, 2 questions here.
Okay.
Are we seeing the beginning of? Oh, hold up, Benzema's only 3 away. Are we seeing the beginning of the decline of Lewandowski, and is Lewandowski pulling further away in the wrong direction of Benzema and Luis Jorge Suarez of that debate?
Okay, so the first question, is he falling out? It's tough because look, when you look at the first part of the season before the World Cup, you could argue he was probably the best player in La Liga, because if you remember, there was a period in October, November, we were scrapping 1-0 wins here and there, 2-1s, and it was mostly because of him, because he was scoring key goals to win us in difficult places. But when you look at the second part of the season after the World Cup, it's not only his goal scoring prowess, because his best ability is obviously to score goals, but when you look at his overall play, it's not been good. And I thought that with today, Pedri was back. He played a good game, so I thought, maybe it would help Lewandowski. Maybe they would link up, do 1-2. Maybe it would help him to maybe make an impact today, but it didn't. So it's tough to say, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna wait to see what happens next season. If we make moves to because when you look at this Barca squad,
okay, so you still have faith for him next season. You wouldn't try to find a replacement next season. You still have faith in him for next season.
see, my thing is, I said it to people, to fellow Barca fans all across the internet. I was like, maybe we should need like a backup number 9, because when you look at Lewa, he's 34, 35. He's getting older, so you kind of need that other guy to step in, score goals, or maybe when he's in a bad form, that guy's gonna be in the field and maybe do something. That's what I say. Get a backup 9.
So okay, what do you make of? Because I think it's basically going all over the internet where he's 1v1, and I don't know whether it's Ferran Torres or so forth, is completely free, and he goes for a shot. Oh, Rafinha is completely free. Are you like, okay, I get it. You're a striker, you're out of goals, you want to score, or are you like, no, screw that. It's only 1-0, you have to square that freaking ball. So if you were Javi, would you be pissed off that Lewandowski did that, or would you be like, okay, you got away with it, but I get it. You wanted to score because you wanted to bring your confidence back.
I can see both perspectives, because for Xavi, you're like, just make the right play. Just square it to Rafinha or Ferran. That sequence, we get a 2-0 lead. We're Gucci. But at the same time, I can get Lewandowski's perspective where I haven't been playing very well lately, and a goal would do a lot. Because when you're a striker, you just need that one goal, and your confidence can skyrocket. You can play good, and so forth. So I can understand both perspectives, but see, for me, I'm just like, make the right play. If I was a striker, I would just score it, but I can understand his perspective on scoring the goal.
Z-Man, talk to me.
Yeah, the guy, man. This guy.
You vouched for him. For him.
No, not really. I mean, I knew he was technically good. In the first half, he played in the first half of the season. He was actually key for us getting points that we weren't able to get, especially against the lower halves. But for some odd reason, this guy's in the second half, this guy's touch, ball control, this guy's ability just to make the right decision, this guy's overall play, and plus the biggest problem with his goal scoring prowess is that this guy will find space for himself in certain times, but he'll be too stuck in his feet. He won't let the ball go. He won't release quick enough. And then that space just disappears.
So are we seeing a decline, or this is just a bad patch, or are we just seeing a natural decline of Lewandowski?
I mean, for the second half, it's been a decline. Like this guy's too focused on goal scoring. My problem is when a striker's too focused on goal scoring, they end up making more stupid mistakes.
Yeah, but Zeman, this is the guy that you bought. This is the man that you bought, because for Bayern, he is because Zeman, you didn't buy a Benzema or a Luis Jose Suarez. Because let's have that conversation of the three guys. Benzema and Luis Jose Suarez, they're extremely good footballers.
They're more clutch.
Forget about being clutch. They're excellent footballers.
Yeah,
Lewandowski is not as good a footballer as those two guys. These guys, just in terms of just on the ball ability, these guys are amazing. Lewandowski ain't that. He can still play, but he ain't that. He is a goal scorer, which has, let's be real, his goals have heavily contributed to you winning the league.
No, yeah, I would say that. I mean, I want to say he's like a goal scorer, like in the sense of like a Haaland. I think he does have a technical prowess.
Yeah,
he does have a technical prowess in him, but in terms of technical ability compared to Suarez and Benzema, I don't think he's anywhere near their level.
No.
But my thing is, like, when it comes to him and this guy's, I don't care. Like, that moment where he didn't pass it to Rafinha, I absolutely lost it, because at that point, Atletico Madrid were creating chances. They were actually getting into good scoring.
I would be pissed, because for me, and that's why I asked Barry that question, Z-Man. If I'm Javi, I'm pissed off. I don't give a damn about your goal drought.
Because at that point, literally, bro, all Rafinha had to do was just run straight. You just pass it to him, and he just runs straight. The goalkeeper's already out of position.
Yeah.
And it's like moments like that, and I'm just like, Lou, what are you doing? Are you challenged? And
no, Zeman, it's not. See,
no, I get it as a striker, but at the end of the day,
he wants to score, and he knows that he has having a goal drought, and as a striker, that pisses you off, which is why. You see, I get it. You're wrong, but I get it, because you have to understand how strikers work. Your currency is scoring goals. Strikers are still pissed off if their team wins, but they didn't score any goals. They're still pissed off. That's how a striker operates. But my thing is, you've got the dub is more important.
my thing is it's 1-0, and you're under a considerable amount of pressure. Like, if you don't make the right decision, I have to blame you. I don't care about your ego. I don't care about the situation you find yourself as a striker. I get that from the striker standpoint. But at the end of the day, you have to hold accountability as a front line. Like, that's the way football works. And I just feel like with Lua, he hasn't been consistent. In the second half, we've been led by other players in the front line, or even our midfield in terms of Pedri being a goal scorer, or even performances like today, Ferran Torres being the actual only person that had a goal scoring threat, or Rafinha, who's having a better performance than him. He's actually been one of our worst performers in the front line. Like, you know how crazy that is. Like, our front line is not even that good. Our wingers aren't that good. None of them are that good. They all have deficiencies. So Lua's poor performances, I mean, he's lucky that we're in a privileged position to be 11 points up, because if we weren't in that type of situation, Lua, man, like the heat would have mounted. And I know that this guy can't handle pressure.
That would be peak.
I know this guy can't handle pressure. And every game is a final. Ever since Xavi said every game is a final in the second half of the season, it's like Lua really thought every game was a final.
Ziba, that's messed up. Wait, hold on. Let me break it. So what do you take with this whole Lewandowski thing, man? Are we? Because I just saw Anthony Badeni make a comment in the streets. Is he just getting old? Is he just declining now? Is it just sort of wasting away? And we've seen his best years. Like, his best years are now gone, and he doesn't know how to transition his game.
I feel like it's very. It goes a lot, because for a striker, here's a striker. For strikers, and we're talking about Benzema, Luis Suarez, and we're talking about Lewandowski here. As good as they are, I think like striker is one of the positions that like you are reliant on who's around you. I generally believe that for Lewandowski personally, he has been affected the most with the absence of Pedri. Especially because him and Pedri just have an understanding that he doesn't have with anyone else. It's just obvious to see. And when something like that doesn't go your way, where you have like a long-term injury to a player that without thinking, he knows where you are, he knows how to find you, you know how to find him, etc., etc. That does mess everything up. And to be honest, it's like you compare what he had at Bayern to the players he had around him in Bayern, especially when he was there, compared to like who he has right now. There is a lack, I do believe, in terms of, because of his striker, there is a lack of sense of trust. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, if I'm Lewandowski, I'm not trusting Ferran Torres, even though he scored today, Rafinha and all them lot. Like, they guys, I'm not.
As bad as Rafinha is, he was open and completely free.
That's fair.
There's no excuse.
So it just, for me, I feel like it's like a combination of everything, to be honest. I mean, these strikers, they are allowed to go drought. Like, let's be real, as great as Benzema has been, he has especially this season, there's been long periods of time where he has not been good. He's been absolutely horrendous. Let's be real out here. Let's not act like the Luis Suarez maybe last season at Barcelona, last season at Atletico Madrid was not the greatest, and yeah, he is getting old, 34 years old. I mean, what, Luis Suarez is 36. So I think you will see periods like this that he's gonna have where he's not gonna look great, but I still think he's gonna come good.
Barca should still invest and build around him for next season.
Yeah, I think so. I just feel like, I genuinely feel like this Barca team are not as great as people think it is. I'm telling you, Rafinha and these lot are just not good. Even though I agree he should have passed Rafinha, etc. Ferran Torres has scored, but I just feel like surround him with better quality. I mean, he doesn't have a Vinny, he doesn't have a Rodrigo,
he
doesn't have these guys.
And also he doesn't have a Mola, a Gnabry, a because I think because it's a key point, because you have to know what you have. Lewandowski isn't going to, on a consistent basis, put the ball through someone's leg. Group has 2-4 guys and put it in the top corner. He isn't going to R9. He isn't going to Messi. He isn't going to even sort of Benzema, where even Suarez, there are times when Cannibal Suarez will literally just score a goal by himself. There are very few times where I've seen Lewandowski score a goal by himself, and if he does, he did not do it consistently as other guys. So when you have to have a Lewandowski, you have to have guys around you. I gave Lewandowski all the credit for all the goals he scored. A large part for his goals, the ban was the support system around him.
Yes.
Without our support system, Lewandowski's not scoring those amounts of goals.
But can you? No, let's look at it from this standpoint, right? Can you afford to do that with a guy that's 34? You have to show up.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you're a senior man.
That's
I
a
can't
good
build
point.
a team around you.
That's a good
You
point.
have to show up. I can't build a team around you.
But then
No. But
this guy gets chances. Let's not try to act like he doesn't get. He gets chances. That's the problem with him. He actually creates his own chances really well.
That's the key question here. And maybe somebody needs to show me the data sheet or so forth. How many big chances has he missed? How many clear-cut chances? Because if he's missed several clear-cut big chances, then Lewandowski, that's on you.
I'll be honest. Lua doesn't have a great conversion rate. As much as if you want to look at goal tellers, yes, it's incredible. But if you actually really dig deep into it, Lua isn't the type of dude that's like one chance, one goal.
There's no striker.
He's not that type of guy. He's not.
No. More.
Other
there
than
are clinical
Haaland,
guys.
No, come on. Like scoring one chance in a
No.
I get that, but he's not going to be the type of chance to score every big chance you create. You're going to have to create like.
It's
10,
like it's I put it this way: he is not as clinical as like peak Drogba, peak R9, peak Weah, peak Batistuta, where these guys peak Torres. Like Torres gave Torres a chance 1v1, it's a goal. Peak Torres. So there are guys who. Which is why I said, look,
Liverpool Torres, right? Not Chelsea Torres.
The Liverpool. I said, look, pictures. For so like, yes, we signed a clone. We signed a clone for some reason. And yes, we signed a clone for 15 mil. A blue clone
That's
for 15
crazy.
Mil. That's crazy. Yes, it's very crazy. Yes, Chelsea are harsh. But you see, my thing though is, how deep should we have? How deep of a conversation we have about Lewandowski? Because Zeman has opened up a very weird Pandora's box. Because Zeman, if you're saying that he doesn't have a very high conversion rate, are we now saying that because you played for Bayern Munich and so forth, you had a billion chances? If you have a billion chances, you're going to put a lot of those away. And when you look at the UCL, where are you scoring those goals? Mostly in the group stage. How many of those goals are you scoring in big games, in semi-finals, in finals? Because we now go back to what we held against Lewandowski. You score in massive bunches and you stats pad. How many goals of you are important and are key important goals? How clinical are you? How many chances do you have to score? Because 50 goals is great. How many chances did you get for those 50 goals? It's still, look, let's be real. 50 goals is still 50 goals. A guy who scores 50 goals from 60 chances is better than a guy who scores 50 goals from 90 chances.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But I have a good way to put it. So let's say like you still have to give him his kudos because you have to score them goals. But I just think let's say there's levels to this. You know, he's not at a category as a R9 or other great strikers of our time or even beyond the years or before. But let's just say there's tiers of strikers like R9, Eto'o, Shevchenko, and so forth. You know.
Oh no! I think that's fair, man. I think that's fair. Look, Lewandowski, he's still a great, amazing striker. I just think that for Barcelona put it this way. You look at the kind of strikers that Barca have had in the past. You've had Kluivert, you've had Romario, you've had what's it called? You've had David Villa, you've had kind of Suarez. Barca are getting Lewandowski on the tail end of his career.
Yeah.
This is because remember all those guys I mentioned, Kluivert, Romario, David Villa, these are all guys coming in there like at their peak, at their very best. So you're getting the guys on the tail end. So you say that they should still invest in this dude. I'm thinking that Lewandowski, you should still have him because he's still a damn good goal scorer. But if you now want to compete, and yes, let's be real, this is Barcelona here. This is in Sevilla, Valencia, which means that next year you have to actively try to go for that UCL and do much better in the UCL. And people, streets and so forth. Should you invest your stocks in Lewandowski for the UCL? I say no.
But you have no choice, HH. I mean, unless
there's a thing called a transfer market.
But the reason why I say that is because you brought him. Once you buy Lewandowski, you give him that contract, HH. you're in a weird way. You're kind of like put yourself in a situation where you have to do that. Because like,
why do you have to do that?
Okay, because
it's only 3 years.
I'm gonna explain. Because first thing first, you look at the market. First thing first, you look at the market. There's what strikers out there that they can buy.
Kane.
Victor from Brazil.
They're not gonna buy Kane.
They
They're
can.
Apparently, we're going after a Brazilian striker. Apparently.
Yes, there's a thing called no, yes, stop it. Yes, I was about to drop that break. Yes, there's a thing called scouting. My thing is that remember, like, you see, the thing with the Barcelona is, if you're Barca or Real Madrid, you get first dibs on South America. So any rising South American talents, your first port of call is either Real Madrid or Barcelona. So Barca and Real always have that advantage. And yes, if there is a really good up-and-coming 16, 17, 18-year-old striker out there, who knows? This guy could actually work much better with what Barca wants. Because, you see, I'll be real with you. The closest, from since I've been watching Barcelona, the closest thing to Lewandowski, this current Lewandowski that I've seen that Barca have had was Kluivert. But this was peak Kluivert, who was a lot more maneuverable than Lewandowski is. The way that Barca are and they operate, you need a striker that offers a lot on the ball. Lewandowski is old. You can see he's old. So all he's offering is, give it to me on a plate, I'll put it away. Which is cool, but we need more from you. You can't just be fully reliant on us giving you everything on a plate. You need to actually create your own goals and be involved a lot more in the play. You can't just be a total goal scorer.
No,
we need more from you.
I mean, and they can do all the scouting they want. They can bring whoever they want in terms of a 16, 17-year-old. But we're talking about the next big striker.
Yeah.
Like when they bought Luis Suarez was in his prime. Luis Suarez was in his prime. Like you said, David Villa was in his prime. I don't think that is not a realistic solution for Barcelona. I'm just talking about in just reality. Where next year they will sign Osimhen or probably not Harry Kane or stuff, etc., etc. So, but then I'm talking about in the near future, the next couple of years or 1, 2, 3 years, they have to build around Lewandowski. They can bring a 16. Look, you could be a 16, 17-year-old and he could be like Lewandowski's understudy. But you cannot expect a 16, 17-year-old to be leading the line for Barcelona. That's a process. That takes time.
I get that. But my thing is, if you let's say this type of performance carries on to the second to next season, and he's having these type of droughts, at what point do you think you stick with him? You don't, because at the end of the day, if you're not delivering me goals, you're not contributing offensively. You're declining because of age, and all these things are happening. I can't be reliant on you as a front line.
Because yes, you're playing a very dangerous game here because
it is.
Because my thing is that once that decline happens, you can't reverse it. If once you're a specific age and you hit that decline, you can't get younger. You keep getting older, your bones keep getting slower and so forth. So here's the thing, yes, you may be right. Maybe the issue here is we don't know. Is this a bad patch? Or is it the beginning of a decline? If it's a bad patch, we've won the league, it's all good, we restart again next season. But if this is a decline, then it's like, bro, there's nothing much you can do to reverse the decline of a guy who is now 35 going on to 36 now. So you have to go out there and be like, okay, what new striker, fourth player can operate well with Rafinha, Pedri, and so forth? Because I'm sorry, he may be good domestically. This is Barcelona. This is the temple that Cruyff built, that Messi has helped build. You have to go through the UCL groups. And I'm sorry, let's keep it a stack. Lewandowski wet the bed in that group stage. You wet the bed because you had the opportunities and you screwed up your opportunities.
But I understand that. But I'm just talking about the realistic situation they're in now. They went out to go get Lewandowski. They were if they were a bit patient, maybe go through this season without Lewandowski and develop the team, and then this summer they would have added a big time striker.
Hold up, it
makes sense. No, but that's my point. Look. So that my point is, they went and said, you know what, this is the guy we want. This is the guy we want. We're gonna give him a 3-year contract, and you're invested in him. So the idea is not we're gonna jump ship from Lewandowski, because the argument for Laporta is he has won us a La Liga. This is our guy. We don't need the invest money that we don't have, and like £100 million striker or next hot top. We don't need. We can invest in the 16-year-old you're talking about, but we don't need to do. We can build our team around that. And Xavi believes that. And to Zima's point, yeah, the situation you guys are in right now, there's no the better striker in your team than Lewandowski. That you cannot trust Ferran Torres to play that position. Ansu Fati is just doesn't exist
gotta be
anymore.
Honest. As much as I don't like Ferran Torres, he has better build up than Lewandowski currently, bro.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's the bad part.
I mean, are we? Zima, are we saying? Are we saying? I was saying.
And I'm not. I
really don't want to agree.
No, that's ridiculous.
Ferran Torres doesn't.
I don't even like Ferran Torres like that. I want him out.
Zeman, no one likes Ferran Torres. No one likes Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres has no friends here, but I'm sorry. I think Ferran Torres actually offers more than 11. Look, see. Guys, here's the thing. Guys, Messi could be rocking up to Camp Nou next season.
He is. I think he is.
And here's the thing. If Messi rocks up to Camp Nou next season, Lewandowski makes sense. Because Lewandowski
exactly. Wait, hold on. I really don't think he does.
If you have a dude who is going to give you 3, 4, 5 opportunities each game, how can Lewandowski not make sense if you have an assist, you have a chance creation merchant in Messi supplying for you?
My thing is, yes, in terms of goal scoring, yes. From an offensive standpoint, it makes sense. But I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking at Lewandowski getting older. He's not gonna be consistent in his pressing.
Oh wow.
And stuff like that. And I just feel like you have 2 old people pressing up top. Have we not learned from the
like 35, 36 years old?
Let me. So Zeman and Barry, you don't want Messi back?
No. We have to move on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it from this standpoint, right? Messi is great, from an offensive standpoint, but you got to also look at key areas that you're lacking. You don't have a right back. You don't have a reliable CDM. You still, well, technically we did sign a free agent center back.
You still need a couple of wingers.
You still need an 8. You still need a 9. I don't think you could get all those done while signing Messi along with that. That to me, just logically, it doesn't make sense. So I'm against it from that standpoint.
All right, so let me just quickly hit on Dubinsky, then we'll move. QC8. The sun was shining. He couldn't see Rafinha. # Sontag. Do you know that this is gonna come? This is gonna haunt Javi forever. Like Javi, why did you say that? Why did you mention the sun? Anthony Badani, Leo, come back ASAP. We want a real superstar. So you guys seriously wouldn't take Messi back?
HH logically, HH, come on, bro. That's like, come on.
No. Look, here's the thing. My thing, I feel that it was incredibly irresponsible for Barca to bring back Messi and so forth. It's kind of irresponsible, but if the opportunity is there,
it's an unpopular take because majority of people want them. But I'm looking at it from a logical standpoint. It doesn't make sense to me that you have all these weaknesses and you're bringing in Messi. It's almost as if you're indulging in, yes, Messi brings a lot to the team, but you don't have a DM.
Yeah, I think you're right because
we're screwed.
Because you have to realize that Argentina, that is a solid foundation that Messi was able to thrive in. That was a solid foundation. Barca don't have a solid foundation.
And plus, for all those people that are saying, so you want us to rock up to Europe and actually do something with Sergio Busquets and Messi.
What the hell?
And Lewandowski up top. Yo, what's that?
What the hell is going on?
Wait. What the hell? What the hell is that coming from? Okay, sorry, continue. Yeah, sorry,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So to me, it doesn't make sense. You want to rock up to Europe with Sergio Busquets, with Lewandowski and Messi, and you think you're going to do something?
Guys, all pushing 40.
Pushing 40.
Yeah, Miss B Nation. Lewandowski can't see well playing when it's sunny, man. Oh, wow. Guys, I'm sorry. You think about it, Miss B is one of the most consistent haters on this planet, bro. I respect the grind, man. I respect that grind. Shout out to you, Joshua. Make sure to build that wing for Spurs. Okay, guys, which club deserves a wing more, Tottenham or PSG?
No, I think PSG.
No, I'll be honest. Spurs aren't even a big club, so technically,
let's be serious here.
The amount of money it will cost to build a win for Spurs, it's not worth it.
Yes. Shout out to Govmeho. Thank you for the dub, Govman. Benzema was trash until he scored a hat-trick against Barcelona. So this is all recency bias. Lewandowski is good. He'll be good again next season.
Good point. I mean,
trash. Here's my thing. Okay, trash. I think
Benzema was bad.
He was bad. He was bad. But I think trash may be extreme. But look, he was bad. But as we've seen, here's the thing. Now we know that he was just out of form. The issue with Lewandowski, we don't know whether he's out of form or he's declining. Benzema was out of form because look at how well he's played now, and he's now only 3 goals behind your boy.
He did drop a stinker at Stamford Bridge. That was a stinky game. Yeah, that was a stinky game from Benzema.
Yeah, but it's like the bridge is for everyone, bro. The bridge is for everyone. It's a tough place to go.
Didn't you score a hat trick?
No, but my thing is that let's be real. Okay, do we all agree that Lewandowski will be good again next season? That he's going to go back to?
I think he will. I think he will.
Yeah. Zima doesn't, because Zima hates everything about Barcelona. I don't think he likes anything.
What? No, I'm a realist. That's the problem.
He's just being real.
I live in reality. I'm not like you, Ollie in.
You don't like no. Okay, let me ask you a question, Zima. Who's your favorite player that plays for Barcelona? He doesn't have
Pedri.
No, Pedri doesn't count.
What do you mean by Pedri doesn't count? He
Araujo as well. Pedri, Araujo. What do you want?
Okay, wait, hold on. So let's go to our last topic, man. So, Eric, I'm going to ask this to you, Eric. Eric, is the mic working there, Eric?
Cap up.
Yeah, it depends.
Eric, is Pep winning the treble? All that stands in his way is Arsenal, Real Madrid, and Man United.
Okay, so I think the most difficult game out of those 3 is probably going to be the FA Cup final. Yeah, maybe the Champions League, maybe. It depends on what Madrid turn up, to be honest, because I remember when City destroyed them. It wasn't too long ago. But obviously last season they lost, even though I think 3 teams dominated Madrid last season, and they didn't play well for most of those games, but they still managed to win. So we know what City can do to teams, but it's just about whether they can get over the line, you know. I feel like United will give City, even though, you know, we know what they did to United, but I feel like United might give City problems in that FA Cup final. But yeah, the league, I think the league is over now, unfortunately, for Arsenal. They're just drawing too many draws, man. You know, too many draws. How can you concede 3 goals against? I know we lost to them, but how can you concede 3 goals against Southampton?
Eric, you know Eric, we've lost to a lot of teams. Exactly. We've lost to a lot of teams. So.
No, but we did concede 3 though.
Eric, no, but we are 11th though. They didn't shout to Drogba. So
how does Theo Walker score?
I'm sorry. You did actually ask. So do you believe they will win? He will win the treble?
No, but I'll tell you. I think City will win
the league.
Yes, they win the league for sure. Well, at this point, if they don't, then
Eric, they're winning the league. They're winning the league.
I think they will at this point, because Arsenal. Let's be honest. Even if Arsenal miss out now, they have to take the L. Obviously, you have to still make fun of them, but you have to say, I mean, for most of the season, they have been the best team, right? They're still top of the table, still 5 points clear. So they've done a lot, but at the end of the day, man, the consistency is not enough. It's not there. So it is what it is. Champions League.
So what's the one that they don't win this? So you say they win the league.
Okay, so I have a feeling that they'll win the double. I think United will beat them in the FA Cup final.
Yikes! They win the Champions League.
No, Eric, please, please don't say that. Please don't tell me that. Please.
No, but I mean, we match Liverpool's last season's trophy count.
Yeah,
and we're only rebuilding.
Look. My thing is, guys, I'll be real with you. I'm really scared that this guy might actually do it, bro.
Yeah.
Because you see, Eric, this is how I see it. league is done. Arsenal have just wasted too many chances, and they've pretty much handed this to them on a plate. The FA Cup is going to be interesting, but I feel that it's going to be a very tense game, a very high octane game based on just how much is at stake. It's a derby and so forth. But I think City's quality will see them through.
Yeah, look,
if City beats Real Madrid, the UCL final is a foregone conclusion.
Exactly.
Inter or AC Milan are not beating City in the final. No.
Yeah. So, and by the way, I'm not trying to reverse anything, or I'm not trying to say what I don't believe to hopefully.
Eric, I know because you're a Pep apologist because you love Pep. I know.
No, I don't love Pep, but you have to admit, whether you like this guy or not, he is in the. He's in the conversation for look. If Pep wins,
what do you do with Scunthorpe? What do you do with Scunthorpe?
Hold on. Even if Pep wins just the Champions League, he's in the conversation to be one of the best. I mean, look what he's doing in the league. You already said the league.
He's gentrified the league. He's gentrified the Premier League.
So you have to talk about
yet.
some conversations that you don't want to talk about if Pep does the double.
Mo, what are you saying, bro? Because I respect your club. I respect Arsenal. I think Arsenal have already fallen down. So we're looking at it's United and Real Madrid. Or do you believe that Arsenal can do so? Basically, treble. Can Pep do the treble? If not, what does he fail at?
No, I don't think he does. I don't think he wins the UCL. I think Real Madrid will knock him out. The Premier League, it's all on Wednesday. If they win against us on Wednesday, then we lost. But if we beat them, I think we have a chance of winning it. The FA Cup too, they win. They win the FA Cup. The only concrete answer I have right now is the FA Cup. The Premier League, I still think on Wednesday.
So you still have hope that Arsenal can say what's up on Wednesday?
No, I just that's my only hope.
Wait, so Arsenal can win the league, but Manchester have no chance to win the FA Cup.
No, I'm just saying Manchester City are better. In one game,
they're better than Arsenal
versus Man United.
Are Man City better than Arsenal?
Yeah, yes, but it's a league. It's a league. There's like so many games.
Yeah, if it's one match, anything can happen. It's a final.
Yeah, but they could also drop points against what's it called? Some I don't know who they're facing.
What Man City do disaster class in the FA Cup final? That could happen.
I mean, it could happen too. On Wednesday, it could happen too. On Wednesday, they could drop a disaster class against us.
Okay. Yes, what do you say, man? Treble. United standing there win the final. Real standing win the semis, and it's Arsenal.
I'm so scared, AJ.
He wins the treble. We're having those Fergie discussions, bro. All Fergie has over him is longevity.
AJ,
and also doing.
I mean, then you'll have two trebles, AJ.
With two different teams.
Yeah. So here's the thing, AJ.
Damn, two trebles, Jesus.
Yeah. AJ, here's the thing. This is why I was so happy that we won, more than anything, because I have this soft spot for the FA Cup, but HH at the end of the day, if they're gonna win the treble, they have to beat us.
Yeah,
like Man United, like we cannot dare. That's
why it's beautiful. Yeah. If let's say they won the treble, and then when the treble was them beating Brighton in our final, it's but this night out, you have the chance of stopping them from equaling your feats. You have the chance. You have it in your hands, and that's one game.
But HH, I'm not gonna lie to you. This has to be the most possible treble in a while. When a lot of teams are on the treble, et cetera, apparently Bayern Munich was on the treble. that's funny. But HH is like the path for them to win the treble is a lot more simpler than it is previous years. Where basically they just have to win out in the Premier League, and they have done this before. They have done this multiple times where they just win every single game and they win the Premier League. And I feel like they are just in course for it. All they have to do is just do their job, just take care of their own, and they'll win the league. FA Cup, beat Man United. Don't play the occasion. You win the FA Cup, and they are the best team left in the Champions League. I understand Real Madrid. I always say football heritage. This is Real Madrid's competition. But if we're talking about in a footballing sense, overall, they are the best team left in the Champions League. So
Yes.
and then if they beat Real Madrid, like you said, HH,
Yeah,
they win
over.
it. So
It's over.
it's it's the table is this whole treble situation. It is set up perfectly.
It sets up perfectly. Like
Yeah,
I say,
it is.
if it sits right now, based on how well you're playing, you have no key injuries. Everything is set up beautifully. Because for me, I feel that City's toughest test, it's probably going to be that. Yeah. Okay, if you had to pick their toughest test, it will probably be that Real Madrid game. Because look, let's see what happens against Arsenal. The issue with Arsenal is they've taken such a body blow in these last 3 games. You're now fighting a wounded animal. Now, maybe they correct, but you're fighting a wounded. If Arsenal, let's say, we're on a winning run and so forth, it'd be different. But you're fighting a wounded animal right now. You see, Real Madrid, I feel that what Real did last year, it wasn't fluke, but it was like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
It was just something special. And when you have something special, it can't happen again. I think City have gotten stronger. Real haven't gotten stronger. So I know it's UCL heritage and so forth. City will put Real Madrid away. They will put them away.
That's why I think if there's one they might not, the one that they're less likely to win, if you look at it in a way, I think it's the FA Cup. I feel like the FA Cup, that's where yes,
that's because that's one game. You see, Real Madrid, that's two games. The league and so forth is running. City are better than United on paper. City will be the favourites, but it's one game. It's a derby game, and there is so much riding on that particular game. So because there's so much riding on that particular game, that's why I wanted United in that final. If Brighton were in the final, City walk all over Brighton very easily. Because it's United are not going to play to City's strengths. United are going to be like, Ten Hag is going to be like, okay, how can I construct something to win this game? Forget about flaws, forget about plan A. How can I construct a plan to stop City and try to win this game? Because when you're in, Mourinho said it, you don't play finals, you win finals. You don't play them, you win them. It's about what do we need to do to win. It's whether you're ugly, it's unkept, it's one game. And all you need to do is win to get the trophy. It's about gate. So, that Manchester derby game is going to be crazy. But yes, here's the thing that's for everyone. If City win the league, and by the time they play the FA Cup final, remember, the FA Cup final, by the time they play the FA Cup final, I believe that the league will be done.
Yes. Yeah.
And we'll know who's in the UCL final. So if they already have the Premier League and the UCL final, and they beat United, bro, that's it. All they need to do is beat AC Milan or Inter Milan for a treble. And if you say to City, all you need to do is to beat AC Milan or Inter Milan to win a treble. Do they mess that chance up?
Even then, I think that's why I feel like I must say this, HH. Even though they should beat AC Milan, Inter Milan, something tells me that if they somehow, some way, if they beat Man United and they win the title, that they won't win the Champions League.
Thank you. That's what I'm thinking too, Yasir.
Yeah, but if they lose to Man United in the FA Cup, they'll win the Champions League.
Yeah. Oh, so that they won't be able to deal with the pressure of it's a treble game.
I think it's like it has a lot to do with the psychological. I feel like they just won't have enough. I think they'll get to the final of, because this is a long season because of the World Cup. Because the FA Cup final is in like June 6th,
yeah, June 3rd.
June 3rd or something like that. And then we're saying that the Champions League final is like probably the week after, a weekend after. We're talking about you going through this whole winning every game in the Premier League, winning the Premier League title, going to the FA Cup, beating Man United, then going to the final. That's tough. I understand you're playing against teams that you're better than, but you have the amount of games that Man City had to play, even though they have a big squad, and the amount of games they literally every game is pretty much a final for them. Yeah, so that's just I genuinely feel like if the Champions League, I don't think they win the treble, so I don't think they win treble. But I think if they the only possibility of them winning the Champions League for me, I see, is if
Is
they
they
don't
lose one of the FA Cup
one
or the
of one.
league?
Yeah.
Zimon, what do you say, man? Zima? Or what's it called? J2S, what are you saying? J2S?
Yeah, is there a scenario where City still go trophyless? Is there a scenario?
Jesus, as much as you want, as much as that would be hilarious, I say no, because I can almost now. I mean, no offense, but I can almost guarantee that they have the league. I think the league was already wrapped. The one I am sure is a sure bank is the league. The ones in question is the FA Cup and the UCL. But
I mean, don't tell Mo that. Don't tell him that.
Oh yeah, no. But look. I mean, shout out to Mo and Nemo. Like Arsenal, I think Arsenal, they've mentally they're gone. They're gone.
They're
like
calling out
and
receipts to me from like 3 months ago. Like the league's not over yet.
Yeah, Jesus, it's over. So really, Jesus, it's down to you guys in the FA Cup final and for Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think it's too obvious they do a treble. It doesn't happen like that.
How long is this so obvious? What do you mean by it's so obvious?
Oh, you guys.
Like we're all assuming if they get to the final, they will be Inter and AC Milan.
Yeah,
like, we just assume the bracket of Real Madrid and Man City will win the Champions League.
I think here's the thing. Okay, here's my logic. Lightning can't strike twice again. So in that now, I get it. I think they said that no team has ever won a Champions League final when they've gone there the first time, but they were favorites. They should have won, but they didn't. They lost to your boys Chelsea. I feel when they make this final, they're going to be overwhelming favorites against either AC or Inter. Do they lose again in a final, being favorites again?
But not every
they have Pep as manager. That's the problem. I don't trust Pep. I don't trust him.
No. But my scenario is that does this happen to City again? You made one final favorites, you lost. You made another final favorites, you lost. So you were favorites twice and you lost twice.
Yes, it can happen.
Yeah.
I think people put too much emphasis on that, the Pep thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, there's a reason why no one has ever won this trophy in their first attempt. So it's easy to just look at it in hindsight and say, oh, Pep is this, Pep is that. And don't forget, that was City's first ever final just in their history, right?
True.
So
actually, Eric, that's not true though.
Didn't
Zidane win it in his first attempt?
No, but the club. I mean, what I'm saying, the club. Yeah. So I don't think it's ever happened before. But and I say those two things separately because it should be looked at. Because when a team gets to this competition for the first time in the club's history, this is the final. I think that's something you can't overlook. And Pep could have had the perfect tactics, and even if he lost, you would have still said he bottled it just based on the fact that they were the favorites, right? So it's not so easy when you look at it and just say, oh yeah, because Pep, this, that, the other. And like you said, I don't think it will happen again. All those other times it was before they got to the final, right? All the other times they bottled it. And then even the final, when you say they bottled it, I don't really think that's what happened. People can, I understand the argument people make, but Pep has done things like that all the time. He changes things all the time. And when it works, no one thinks twice. But when it doesn't work, Pep is an overthinker. So I don't really buy that personally.
So I forgot. So Eric, so you said he does the treble, or did he say he does the treble? Or he doesn't do the treble.
He won't do I don't think he does the treble, but I think he's going to win the Champions League.
Yeah. So he doesn't win the league, or he doesn't win the FA Cup.
I mean, this is more hope than anything, but somehow United are going to beat them in the FA Cup.
Why not Arsenal?
wait, hold on. Elijah, what are you saying, man?
Yeah, honestly, I think the Arsenal thing we're kind of overthinking this. Let's wait till Wednesday and see what happens.
Elijah,
stop being nice. Stop being nice.
Elijah, let's be real here, man.
Okay, come on, guys, come on. Let's just. I mean, because let's be real. Let's say Arsenal wins, they could still lose the league because there's still like 5 more games to go. Like you can win and still bottle it. So like that's possible.
My hopes on Arsenal ever again.
But me like if I put my Liverpoolness into it, bro, I rather that City wins the FA Cup and the Champions League. In my opinion, like I don't want Manchester United equaling our 68th trophy. No, sorry, no, I don't want that. That's horrible. That'd be horrible for me, because then that gives Yassi a right to speak. That gives J2S a right to speak. No, I want the record for my own. So no, but no. I'll stick with City for the FA Cup, Champions League. That's hard. And then let's not sleep on the Italian teams. Why are we doing that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be controversial. I think the other side wins the Champions League. I don't think they're on
That's crazy. That's crazy.
No, you can clip it. You can clip it. I think AC will win.
Jesus, here's the thing. Jesus, even if I think City make the final, if Real make the final, Real have never lost a final ever. And
I think they do. I think they do.
Bro, if you say
they can't do it again. If they do it again, just disband the whole dissolve it.
No. The way they don't do it again is they don't make the final.
If I see Romelu Lukaku lift the Champions League trophy before Zlatan Ibrahimovic, that'll be crazy, bro.
Yes, it might, because that would be the greatest redemption story of all time. Like that is Hollywood. If Lukaku scoring the winning goal in a UCL final. Remember what happened to the Europa League and so forth? That would be the greatest redemption story of all time. But basically, look, there are so many flipping narratives in this. But look, this is what I'm sure of. Real can't do it again. No, like for me, like I still don't understand what they did last year. Real are not winning this UCL again. No. Like, we're not having that. Like, fine, you won your 3-peat, you defended it twice. That's not happening again. So for me, I feel that it's a question of, can either Inter or AC stop them in the final? You see, that's FA Cup final, man.
Because it's like really, I think it's like the week
no, bro. You know what? I'm seeing a red card in that FA Cup final. There's gonna be a red card.
You know, it's more likely that's gonna come from Manchester United than Chelsea. That red card.
Oh yeah, for sure. No. Because that's going to be a very Pep and Ten Hag are going to get into a fight. There's going to be lots of scuffles, and that thing is going to be high octane. So my thing though is, look, that's why shout out to Bryson. They did a thing for the streets, for the narrative. We needed United City, and guys, keep in mind, City could just beat United 5-0. Oh, sorry, 3-0. Like. Let's be real, that's going to happen. See, what can't happen is United destroying City. City destroying United in a FA Cup final, that can happen. Will it happen? No, but that's going to happen. Now, let's just hope that we have a good game and so forth. But, guys, this treble, man, it's...
Can I talk about the treble?
Talk to me, Z-Man.
I need my ball fraud to get in trouble, man.
I need my ball fraud. You just have to ruin everything, man.
That's my manager,
man. I'm a Barca fan.
That's my manager,
yes,
bro.
You're so Catalan. Look at this Catalan merchants, man.
That's my pivot.
Look at this Catalan merchants, man.
My pivot. If he does, Sir Alex Ferguson, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to have.
Bro, he moved on. Move on. Z-Man, he has moved on.
Jose Mourinho, I dare you to not win Europa and for my manager to get a trouble on your head top.
Z-Man, he gave you Fernan Torres and Garcia.
This is going to hit like crack, man. If he wins the treble, that's it, man. He's completed football. At that point, he should just... I mean, what he did to your league. I mean, you have Arsenal fans that were complaining, even though they were 4 points up top. You know how crazy Pep... you know how much fear there is. Bro, Liverpool fans were losing their mind after game week 2. Like Pep psychologically messed up. Messed up England, bro.
No, Zeman. He's gentrified the English Premier League. He gentrified.
No, I legit lost my mind. 21-22, like week 37. I was delusional. I was thinking we could score 8 against Wolves and hope that Aston Villa pulls a draw. I was delusional.
No. I still believe that City did that on purpose just to make it interesting. They went down 2 and they won 3-2.
No, the thing is, Real Madrid. I'm gonna keep it real. That's your only hope.
Wait, hold on. So United are gonna get 3 pieces in the final. Is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna be honest. Man United. It depends. Is Varane gonna be back?
Oh, he has to be back. Yeah,
They should.
Maybe.
I mean,
I
it's in
think
June.
everyone's gonna be back pretty much, bro.
Oh,
Even
except
Martinez.
But
even
then
that
again,
season.
you know what's the one thing? Man United have the greatest playmaker for an opposition named David De Gea, man.
Yo, relax. Leave my guy
Like
alone.
if
was
this
good
guy
today.
gets pressed, man,
He
if
was
this
good
guy
today.
gets pressed, he's gonna pass to one of his center backs, and they're gonna end up losing it. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Wait, hold up. Hold up. Shout out to your boy Whimsical Footman. Thank you for the job, Whimsical man. I reckon City wins the CL and FA Cup, but I'm looking at the league. It won't be as straightforward as it seems. Lots more drama on unpredictable moments to come. Wait, see.
Exactly.
See, Whimsical. Wait, Elijah. I think your connection is a bit bad. You sound like the T800. Maybe try and
Better now.
No. You sound like a robot. You sound like a robot.
I got you.
All right. So you see, my thing though is this. I just think the opposite. I think Arsenal's confidence is low. It is super low. I mean, bro, you can't blow a 2-goal lead twice, and you can't be 3-1 down against the worst team in the league. I think Arsenal have hit a brick wall at the wrong possible moment.
They burnt out. It's over.
It's done.
If you saw the end of the game, they all collapsed on the pitch.
Yeah,
and Arteta was rubbing his head like real hard.
Yeah, Thank you.
Do you know what it is though? And I don't understand why I feel like every year, Premier League fans, we all have like the kind of Men in Black thing where they like zap us. It seems like we just lose our memory.
Oh yeah, City, normalizer.
Yeah, City do this every single year. City, there's a period of time where everything just clicks on City's mind or in the players' mind, and they all go on form and they just start winning every single game. City has not lost a single game in 11 games. They're on an 11 winning game one, and it's like normal to them. And for me, and that's why. And the thing is like, I think it's putting more respect on what City has done and what City has proven that for them, they will win every single game. They will not lose a game.
No. They're running the table.
Yeah.
They're running the table. Shout out to your boy Sam Jovi. Says, testing my super chat status, Forza Milan. Look, man, if like, here's my dream scenario, which would happen. My dream scenario is, look, I hate United, so it is what it is. But if United goes on, that's fine. But my dream scenario is if AC Milan beating City in the UCL final. That would be a great story. That would hit like crack cocaine. But you know what it is? Look, because let me prove. Do you know what it is, guys? I've taken so many L's. I think like I'm on like an L run or something. So I think that, and guys, which is why that's why I'm so scared of the treble. I feel like, wait a minute, I've taken a lot of consecutive L's, and maybe this L season hasn't finished yet, so forth. And the final L just to just complete my series of L's is him winning, because that's it for me. Pep winning a treble. That's tough.
No. I'm sorry.
That's tough.
He reimagined football, man. He reimagined football. There's no other way of looking at it.
That's it. Because I'm trying to find excuses. That's a tough one, man.
You guys, you know what's scary though?
Yeah. It can go for it. Then it can talk to me.
Why are we so like okay? Why are we so convinced that City beats United in the FA Cup final? Something like this may happen. Something like what happened today may happen.
Yeah, they could be
United
kind of merchants.
Both United, Milan, and Inter, all three of them were capable of shithousing a win in one game.
Yeah.
All three of them. Why wouldn't be? I wouldn't be surprised if any of those three beat City in a one game.
I don't know. I just don't know.
It's just the league. I think City has done sewn up. I think the FA Cup final is still up for grabs, and I think the UCL final is still
but let's be honest. Even if Pep doesn't win the FA Cup and somehow misses out on the league, if he wins the Champions League,
no.
Everything else is pointless.
Let's just be real. If he wins the league, no CL, FA Cup. If he wins the FA Cup and the league with no UCL, okay, cool. If he doesn't win the FA Cup or doesn't win the league, he wins that UCL. That was the one. Because the thing hanging over it. See, treble, that's just extra sauce. That's just an extra flex. The key thing is you've never been able to win a UCL without Messi and that superpowered team. A team that many people consider is one of the most talented teams of all time. So the thing though is, this is a team that you've been able to build. No Messi tax. No Iniesta tax. Iniesta is one of the best midfielders of his generation. Iniesta is a top 10 midfielder of all time. Messi is one of the greatest players of all time. So you don't have any of those guys at City. Can you still build this team and make this team win a UCL? So if he gives this UCL, that is the key dub that we're waiting for.
You know what's scaring me? This is what's scaring me because this is this has to be one of the strangest seasons of all time in terms of football.
How so?
You have Messi winning the World Cup. That's crazy. Messi winning the World Cup and scoring in every single knockout round, including the semis and the final. That's insane. That's crazy. Argentina winning Messi finally winning his World Cup, right? Then you have Napoli winning the Scudetto for the first time ever. You have Bayern Munich. I think they won 11. I think it was 11 in a row. They won 11 in a row, and somehow, someway, they battled the league to Borussia Dortmund, out of all people. So HH, like, I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, HH, you know, and this trouble is actually a crazy trouble as well. This trouble will be a three-peat in the league. First thing first.
Oh yeah,
it'll be a three-peat in the league. HH, it'll be a trouble, and then he already has the domestic trouble. He already has the 100-point record. Like, no one's touching that 100 points record. HH. I'm scared. I am terrified because this is crazy.
Yeah, no, because I say if he wins the treble, then we have to have like a Sunday hangout and discuss Fergie's dynasty and Pep's dynasty.
I have to be the host in that.
Yeah, no, because my thing is that then because let him do this treble. Once it's a treble, we now have a dynasty off.
We
have a dynasty off of like. Because you have really good compelling arguments. Fergie's arguments is the team he was able to build, three-peats twice, his longevity, and of course the treble. But Pep's thing, and yes, you alluded to is that, okay, I now have a treble right now. I've now done my three-peats, but I've got the goals record, I've got the consecutive wins record, I've got the points record. And the amount of points I've accumulated over successful seasons is pretty much a record. So, and the impact that my team has made and what my team has done and how I've destroyed this league in terms of records broken is crazy. So now you now compare both dynasties and there are arguments for both sides.
It's scary because, you know, I mean, I'm on this channel to be objective, HH. I know I could be biased at times, but HH, the scary thing is like Fergie lost twice in a final, in the Champions League final, to none other than Pep Guardiola, and we lost bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know. People say 2011 was terrible. I get that. 2011 was as bad. HH, they completely outplayed us in both finals. HH.
No. 09, 2011 was. That second half was ridiculous. That second half was ridiculous.
In 2009, we actually played well until they scored. 2011, that we got that was illegal. No.
Like that's it. 09, and even after Barca scored, it was still there. Like 2011 was just total football.
Yeah.
It was total football, you know.
But my thing, like, he can say that.
But yes, the thing is, you could always say Messi tax.
Yes, 100%.
And Iniesta tax, because like. My thing though is man for man, comparing United team to Barca, specifically in 2011. See, 09 you had Cristiano, but in 2011, bro, that team was ridiculous, bro. We were talking about peak David Villa, peak Iniesta, peak Xavi, peak Messi. That team was ridiculous.
Yeah, we had peak Tom Cleverley. So
there we go. Peak Tom Cleverley.
Anderson and them like.
So I mean, look, Anthony, what do you before we get there? Answer, what are you saying? Treble for Pep?
I think Arsenal can do something, guys. I think you guys are writing them off.
Yeah, I've written it. I've sent it to the postman, and he's gonna mail it and so forth. I've written everything. I've written like an essay. I've written an essay about them.
Okay, seriously, I'd say like I think this is big for Pep's legacy. You know, if he wins his second treble, I think he'll be regarded probably better than Sir Alex in my book.
See, my thing is that 2 trebles 2 trebles
Two
with 2
trebles for
different teams.
2 different teams. This is
2
And then the
trebles,
2
bro.
hardest
the
leagues
last
in
time.
the
The last time I seen someone like this was from a player, Eto'o. He's doing it as a manager, HH. He's doing it as a manager.
He'll be second to Mo. Mo will still be the GOAT, but like.
Oh, no.
No, he
Uncle
won't.
Mo would always be my guy.
No.
Uncle Mo would always be my guy.
Yeah, get
Yeah,
that
he
guy out
always
of here,
be the
man.
Nah. Uncle Mo would always be my guy.
No,
So
Uncle
shout
Mo's
out to
a
your
big
boy,
man.
Whimsical Thoughts, man. Laugh out loud. Why are you guys so worked up on Pep's treble? Let him win. I'm not saying he deserves. No one deserves you win or not, but his works. No, look. See, here's my thing. My thing though is, look, I find Pep arrogance, and I think Yassi even said this before. If you're a Mourinho guy, you're supposed to hate Pep. If you're a Pep guy, you're supposed to hate Mourinho. Mourinho people and Pep people don't mix.
Yeah.
We just don't mix. You're either a Mourinho guy or a Pep guy. And when you're a Mourinho guy, you are primed to hate Pep. If you're a Pep guy, you're to play Mourinho. They are polar opposites. And I've been a Mourinho guy from day one, day uno. Like the first video that sort of like went viral on this channel was Inter Barca 2010 second leg. That was like my first like really big video and so forth. So I'm a Mourinho guy to the core. But put that to one side. If Pep does do this treble, as much as it be like, oh damn it, man, he's the guy I'm supposed to hate. It is what it is. Like for me, like you have to look at football objectivity. See, we are told 2 things. I'm only human, and me being human, I'm gonna have my subjectivity. So let me be human and let me hate. And me hating is me being a human being. If you don't have any hate in you, you're a robot, you're a machine. Let me have my hate. Let me project my hate. Then after I project my hate, I'll sit back and be like, look, the records, the football being played, the coaching, how well his team plays, how well his team dominates, how he's evolved the game. And if he does this treble, and let's be real, this treble won't be easy. Because Real stand in your way, and the final is a final. United want to beat you. Trust me. That United are going to be up for the game because Fergie is going to give a speech. Fergie's going to say, don't let these guys beat you in this final, bro. This is a game of your lives. And every United fan will DM every United player and say, don't you allow City to beat you in this final. Because this, I think we said this in the whole thing. Is this United's most meaningful game you can remember in history? Taking everything into account.
In the last decade, yes.
Yes, in the last...
you gotta really look into this.
No. Okay, let's go beyond the decade because my thing is that let's even throw in that UCL final against Bayern Munich and so forth. I think this is bigger. Take everything into account. Derby. You're the only English team to win a treble. So you could potentially stop City, your rivals, from winning the Champions League treble, the Champions League treble.
Oh, we
the
don't
Champions
count
League
those
era.
European Cups.
Yeah. Come on. Elijah. Okay, shout out to Bob Paisley.
You lost the Club World Cup to all Brazilian sides back then. We're not counting that.
No English side could beat, well, except you guys. No English side could beat the Brazilian.
Exactly.
But the issue is, here's the issue. I said this before. What is very, very scary, especially for a United fan, and should be for every other fan as well, like if you're an Arsenal fan, etc., Chelsea fan, this City team reminds me of the Fergie's Man United teams, of how dominant they are domestically. That's the scary thing. Like, they remind me of us, the way we used to dominate the Premier League, the way we used to psychologically abuse the Premier League. Like, there was a time when Newcastle, I think, was like 12 points ahead of us, and for the title, and we just ended up catching up to them and ended up beating them to the title, and we did it like it was nothing, So like, the scary thing is, like, they remind me of this. They are today's Man City are what Man United used to be. Literally, they just took the place of Man United.
Yeah,
and what will solidify that is if they win the treble, that'd be like, yeah, these guys are just the.
So guys, look, let's run off, guys. So guys, please, guys, like that vid, subscribe if you're new. Remember, this is going to be on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. So if you wanted to listen to this in podcast form, it will be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I will see you guys obviously for Wednesday, which is that big game, Arsenal against freaking City.
Life, man.
Members.
Peace out. No, peace out. That's it. Peace out, guys. Peace out.